Hi everyone, this is Jobenblue, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Funko Pop Yu-Gi-Oh! Number 389, otherwise known as the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Not to be confused, of course, with the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, which is what that one is. This came out a few years ago, but it recently had a reissue, and I was able to pick it up from Big Bad Toy Store. It's out of stock now, but make sure to pick these up if you can. There actually was another release of this that was like a con exclusive or something, where instead of like this blue, it was more like a silver. So even though that this one is a reissue, you can see that this just uses all of the old figures that were coming out at around this time. Yami, Seto, DMG, and Blue Eyes, and I believe that Dark Magician was a Hot Topic exclusive, but I don't plan on getting any of these. I have the Figma of this. Here is the bottom of the box. I have no idea what this code means. I don't ever remember seeing it on anything else. Here is the UPC. This one actually has a little bit of interesting things about its unboxing process. You'll see in a second. So it has these hand things here, and then the package, of course. It's not like the traditional ones because there's usually a little, like, on these ones there's usually a locking mechanism to prevent this, but for some reason this one does not have it. Here is the figure itself. Very blue eyes. One note about these teeth is in some shots they look kind of yellowy, and in some shots they look more white. Just kind of really depends on how the light hits them. It's kind of like a very interesting like marbly paint texture to it. Nice, whatever you want to call these ears. I don't know. Does it have ears? That's weird. Its teeth are painted. You can see it kind of missed the mark on a few of them. Funko Pops are just not known for their very close-up attention to paint detail, as we've started to see in a lot of these more recent reviews. You can see there's actually a lot of texture here to the top of the mouth. And if the light catches just right, you can actually see that they sculpted in a little bit of a tongue here. The head does not swivel. You'll see next week with Red Eyes that there is very little articulation, if any at all, which is honestly kind of disappointing because I wish that they had swiveled these at the bottom of their necks or something, like right here. I don't know why they don't, but I think a lot of people would appreciate Funko Pops more if they did have a little bit of articulation to them. The wings are a very hard material. They are harder than obelisks. I didn't notice this here on the bottom of the head. It's got some copyright info, which is usually found on the bottom of the feet, but because the feet are like that, you don't get to see those. There's some nice wing detail in here. You can see some glue marks down there. I think the mouth itself is a separate piece, as evidenced by that. Tons of little details and scales all throughout the body. I don't really like how they decided to position the hands on these dragons. I think with Red Eyes, I definitely dislike that one more because, like, why is it just like, why are his hands like that? I just don't understand. They should be in more of like a menacing pose or something. Uh, Something to just convey other than just like, oh yeah, I'm a dragon and I'm just gonna sit here with my hands down at my body. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Blue Eyes is a little bit better with the posing, but not by much. I'm trying to think about what they could have done, and honestly, my best guess is to go for more of this original artwork. Maybe even this other alternative artwork. Like, you can see right there, the hand is like up a little bit, and there's just a little bit more life to the posing. Yeah, I think it would have been really cool to have done it in the style of this original artwork. More the same aesthetic all around, really. Kind of trying to look at that, whatever that is. I think it's just more glue. I'd assume that this is another. This is a separate piece. The neck is a separate piece. The legs are a separate piece, and I'm gonna guess that the arms are a separate piece as well. But just more of the same Blue Eyes aesthetic going around. Yeah, I just don't know that it really does the best job at conveying the sheer scale and power of a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So now let's go ahead and look at some size comparisons. In terms of standing up this figure, I haven't really had any problems, but I did notice that at that angle, it just looks kind of funny. This thing stands at about just shy of 5 inches tall. Here it is next to next week's review, which is going to be the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Of course, here he is next to the Revo Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, as well as the Revo DSOD Kaiba. Revo Yugi, the Nindo Atem, and the Funko Atem. Figma DMG, as well as the Figma Playmaker. Then here we also have a Goku, as well as Obelisk. And then lastly, here we have Slifer as well as WarGreymon. Is WarGreymon a dragon? I honestly don't know. I knew whenever I started the journey to buy some Yu-Gi-Oh toys that there really isn't a huge market out there. There are just some really old toys out there that just do not live up to today's standards. There just are not a lot of actual like figures out there. Even with DSOD, like, the only thing that we got was the alternative White Dragon, which is fine in its own right. And then you have Figma out there making things like Dark Magician Girl. So maybe they'll get around to making it one day, but there really just are not a lot of Blue Eyes toys out there. The model kits, like we have a Slifer and Obelisk and Raw, turns out they did that for the Ultimate White Dragon, which is the one with 3 heads. For the Burger King toys, I don't know if you ever had any of those. They didn't even have a Blue Eyes White Dragon for that. There is one coming out later this year by First Four Figures. It's like $140 though. You could make the argument for that one, but at the same time, when I think about Blue Eyes, I think about it like up in the air, kind of like this, and that one's like it's almost like they did a realistic take on it versus like say the Stardust Dragon figure, which is made by Kotobukiya, I think, or at least it scales with Kotobukiya. That one is more like ripped straight out of the anime and into real life, whereas you do see elements of real life slapped onto the $140 figure. But other than that, there really are not a lot of options out there in terms of Blue Eyes White Dragon toys, which is really surprising considering that this thing literally has cereal and chocolate and but it does not have a lot of toys, which is pretty disappointing. This thing's like $200 too. I just got like super stupid lucky whenever I got those. Yeah, there's really not a lot of options for Blue Eyes toys out there. So if you can find this one for like $10, $11, I would totally suggest picking it up. Like I've been saying, next week is going to be Red Eyes, and then I have no idea what I'm gonna do after that. Probably going to be the Funko Pop Shell and everything else that I have lying around. This has been Jobenblue. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.